saw a video of a woman and she was kind of reenacting her experience in the jewelry business of men who asked their wives, their girlfriends, I'm sorry, what kind of engagement ring they would like. And the girlfriend tells them. And then when they turn up at the jewelry store to get what she likes, they get something that's like really cheap. And, we're not talking about you're in your 20s, you're starting out, you genuinely can't afford to do more. We're talking about people who can, they just don't want to. And let me tell you about my experience in the jewelry industry with this very situation. Had this male customer come in, and he would come in often to look at various watches and things for himself. He would say, "Oh, I just got back from Paris, or from this place, or from that place." And he would show me and the other associates pictures of his various vacations. So he really did actually go to these places. One day he comes in and he's like, "I want to propose to my girlfriend. It's time. I'm going to bring her in here on Friday, and I want you to go through rings with her to find out her style, have her pick out which one she likes, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to buy that one." So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I get to be a part of this. He brings her in. He wanted us to keep it a surprise. So I'm like, "Hey girl, how are you? You know what? The company is having us test out some merchandising and all that stuff. And we really want to see what people like so that we can make sure we put that at the front and order more of those items." And she's like, "Sure, I love it. I got you." I spend almost an hour with this woman. I had like 9 jewelry cases. We go through every single one because I am determined I want her to pick out her favorite ring. And she's trying on the rings. She's telling me what she likes and what she doesn't like. And I'm acting like I'm really just taking notes. And then I'm like, "You know what? I'll pick out what you would actually like because I really want to know what women want." So after all that time, we narrow it down to 5. We narrow it down to 3. And finally, she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is the one that I would want," to the point where she's taking pictures of it and sending it to him, and she shares with me, "We've been talking about marriage and proposing, and, I really want him to know that I would want something like this." And I'm super excited. So this has helped me tremendously. So he comes back and he shows me the picture. And he's like, "Okay, this is the one she wants." I'm like, "Yep, we spent so much time. She really loved this one." Her face lit up. I show him the price tag. I think the ring was like $3,900. And when he sees that price, his expression drops. And me being in the jewelry industry for 20 years, I know what that means. Know what that means. All of a sudden, he breaks out into this cold sweat. And he went from loving the ring to not loving the ring. And he's just like, "Ooh, can we look at some other ones? Because I just want to be sure that this is the one that she actually likes, because I can't believe that this is the one that she actually likes." And respectfully, I'm like, "Sir, we almost spent an hour here. And we went through so many rings and we went back and forth. And we narrowed it down to this one. And she sent you a picture of this one. And what do you mean?" And he's just like not making any sense at this point. She said she liked this one, but I could have swore I heard her say she liked yellow gold. And I'm like, "Well, we tried on some yellow gold ones and she liked this one." "Well, I know this is a princess cut one, but, she might like a round one. And let's just look for some other ones." And at this point, I'm disgusted in the whole situation. At the same time, he's telling me about a Rolex that he just purchased for himself and how he's going to Italy in 2 weeks. So it's not that he ain't got no money. He just didn't want to spend the money on her. The amount of times that men would come in, customers that we knew had big bucks because they've spent it. They have the open to buy on their credit cards as well, or maybe they use their own, or they use debit, or they use cash. Long story short, we know they got the money and they ain't fronting like they got the money. They come in for Mother's Day and they want the $20 special with the diamond dust It's not even dust at this point. You can barely see it. They want the cheap necklace that's gonna break as soon as they as soon as they put it on. They give me this speech about how they've been with their wife for 30 years and she raised 15 children and they love her so much, but they don't want to spend any more than $50. Those are the same men that come in and spend hundreds, thousands of dollars on themselves. It's one thing if you can't afford something. I'm not talking about situations like that. And I had customers like that who I was happy to work with to show them, hey, we got something for everybody. And they left with a smile on their face because they had a great experience and got great customer service and were treated as if they were a millionaire. It's the ones who had it, who have spent it. They got it. They just don't see their wives as worthy of spending that kind of money on, which I feel is like so sad. Like, you spend that money on yourself. What do you mean? It's just more proof that to a lot of men, women are nothing more than accessories. You know, not worthy of anything really nice, not even worthy of the things that they specifically said that they wanted. You got to figure out a loophole and take the cheap route. The amount of wives that I've had who came back, who were in tears, who were frustrated because they returned something that they fucking hated, or they returned something that they didn't even ask for. That's not even close to what they asked for. And the frustration of them not understanding, why would my husband of 25 years get me this $20 flimsy ass necklace? Women who would pour their heart out to me and say, my husband just bought himself a $70,000 truck with all the upgrades and he's constantly buying shit for this truck, but he bought me this little flimsy $100 watch. Women that see their husbands try so hard for themselves and spend the money and take the effort and pay attention to every detail on things that they want for themselves, but not give a shit about anything that their wives want, not have any kind of decent budget for what their wives want, not give a fuck, not even care to remember what their wives like. Truly sad.